Oh, Jasper, Jasper, why? Why? The name of King's Christendom, have you decided to go around calling yourself the Führer? Why? I know what you're thinking. I know you think it's associated with Adolf Hitler, yeah? And the Holocaust. It is associated with Adolf Hitler and the Holocaust, you fool. Why have you decided to be named the Führer? Well, if you just let me explain, it actually means the leader. Before the whole thing was sort of bastardized and corrupted by the Nazi Party. Yes. Yes, and that's exactly what's happened. When you mention the Führer, everybody thinks of Adolf Hitler. So why have you been renamed the Führer? And it means the leader. Yes, I'm fully aware of what it may mean, but what are you the leader of, by the way? Well, the people. The Volksführer. The Volksführer, I see. The people's leader. That's wonderful. So which people are you going to be leading, as it were? Well, all the people that want to follow me. Ah, wonderful. So I'm now living with the Führer, the leader of the people. I see. Why can't you just say that you're the leader? Why do you not? Why do you have to have a Germanic, shocking statement? Because that's what I wanted to do. I want to shock people into sort of, following me and give them what was. You see, to be a leader, like Moses and Jesus, everybody, has to make a bit of a statement and a shock to get people to join them. Right. Well, you've certainly made a shock to get your name changed to the Führer. I've arrived back from 2 weeks away to find yet again you've changed your religion, gender, and started an entirely new way of life. And is it true that you're also living just on chocolate Rolos? I mean, where does that come in? Why have you gone for chocolate Rolos? Because they're cheap. There was a special offer. I've bought masses of them, and you hardly need any Rolos. I mean, 2 packets and you've got 400, calories. That's half of what you need. Just 2 packets. Oh, what in the name of Nelson's Knob? Why have I got to come back? You're now stood there telling me that you're living on packets of Rolos, wearing a blue fez on your head and a full-length white kaftan. Why? Well, this is to be my new dress. A simple Mesopotamian man is what I've morphed into. A Mesopotamian man. So, oh God, we are living in the most expensive Paris of the North, they call it, Harrogate. And you want to walk around dressed as some sort of Moroccan goat herder with a fez on your head, right? Oh, Christ. And every fridge and freezer that we may have had that you've given away, we're now storing chocolate that is going to melt, is it not? Because we do not have any utensils, because you feel that they are burning away the atmosphere, and you've gone so green that we haven't got a cooker, we haven't got anything whatsoever that resembles a kitchen, cutlery. And we're now on a diet of Rolos. I see. It's because you don't realize that the Muslim population has expanded to such a point that they are eating all the lamb and goat, right? We don't eat lamb or goat really. So what difference? Well, the population, Islamic population, has increased, or fivefold in as many decades. Yes. Listen, I don't really give a monkey's masturbation about the Arab spring, summer, winter, or fall. And by the way, talking of Arab winters, where's your wife? Oh, she's been sectioned. She's been sectioned. When did this happen? A few days ago. I had to call the police, and they took her away. She, she caused such a hullabaloo. She attacked me with a knife. A knife? We don't have any knives. We do not have any cutlery whatsoever. We are grubbing around eating with our hands like grubby peasants. How could she can't attack you with a knife. What she attacked you with? Well, you remember that broken egg whisk that was really sharp? That. So you've driven her to such a point of madness that she's gone for you with her broken egg whisk, yeah? I see. And you're nothing, I suppose you're nothing to do with it, are you? You've not driven her to this, have you? With this constant change of religion, gender, and idiocy over as many years. I mean, you've had at least seven new religions, to my knowledge. Look, the freedom of expression is the right of every man, woman, child. And I see. And so you're telling me now she's been sectioned, right? This is a poor woman that started, when she joined us, she was a wonderful woman that just wanted really to settle down and have a family. Not long after that, as I remember, you actually told her that you were going to get your genitals removed and join a Russian sect called the Skopsi. Yes, that's it. And that she would need to actually have a mastectomy and have her breasts removed to join you in this religion. And she's the one that wanted to start a family with you. Now, this sort of behavior, well, it's not a behavior. I mean, if you want to become a true white dove, then you have to give your gender away, as it were. You can't, to gain freedom from lust, you have to have the greater seal and eradicate anything of the original sin, i.e. your genitals and your breasts or anything that may create lust. They are the mark of Cain. The mark of Cain. I see. Why would you think they're possibly the mark of Cain? Because that was the original sin. That's what because of the penis and because of the breast, the temptation and the whispering of the serpent. That's why Adam was driven from the Garden of Eden. Right. So we all should have our genitals removed. Right. Good. So listen, you clown. This poor woman has been sectioned. That is very serious. Where's she been sectioned? Wixley on the hill. Wonderful. So I'm now left with you and your seemingly great seal that'll probably never happen. No furniture, no appliance, no cutlery, no nothing. And I suppose this new religion of yours is what? Islam. I see. So this is why we're living on bare, scrubbed floorboards, is it? And roll-out mats. And you've decided to actually grow yourself a beard virtually down to your navel. So we're going to actually grow beards and we're going to tiddle you around once we've had the greater seal through the cow's horn. Is that what we're going to do into wooden buckets? The great seal of things. You see, in fact, why haven't you had your greater seal? What's happened? What's curtailed that? Literally curtailed. Well, it's because they won't do it on the NHS. They've told me they won't do it. I've got to do it, I've got to have it done privately. They say it's not in their gender reassignment plan. Really? Oh, that's a surprise, isn't it? Well, you'll have to do it with a DIY and the sharpened egg whisk, won't you? Why have you got to... Well, why am I? Why are you in such a bad mood? Why? Because I've been trapped with some hairy troglodytes for about 4 hours on a boiling hot train. That fat controller that's in charge of everything, is full to the brim of pink gin, has used his brilliant OCD planning to put together the perfect disaster. I have been sat with 200 pensioners on a train boiling my brain for the last 4 hours. And these old badgers, I'm wondering which one's going to be the first to die. I'm running in rivulets of sweat, thinking to myself, and it turns out that, of course, they're wrapped in scarves and shawls and hats, cool as cucumbers. I didn't realise, but if you're on warfarin, blood thinners, you're as dry as a desert lizard and as cool. They're sat there staring back at me. I'm having a stroke and 2 nervous breakdowns, chewing gobfuls of toffee cud, as vacant as cows, with dementia. Cows don't have dementia. How do you know that? They had Jacob's disease or something. That's a brain disorder, isn't it? Protein burn. Yeah, but it's not dementia. And a cow's not vacant. Oh, listen, I'm not getting into what a cow is and what it's not. You know, we've been through this Hindu phase of yours with sacred cows. In fact, where is our sacred cow these days? The one that you went and acquired. Where is it? Where's our sacred cow in the shed? Oh, Ermintrude. Well, how many cows have we got? Yes, we've got one, haven't we? Well, we did have. I've put her out to pasture on the common with the gypsy horses. Well, don't they mind? I mean, oh no, they said, you know, if they can have the milk, then, you know, then Ermintrude can graze on the common with the horses. Right. How long's she been grazing on the common? Oh, weeks. Weeks, you say. So, what in hell have I been drinking then? I thought the milk was... What have I been drinking? No, I went for... what have I been drinking? Breast milk. Breast milk. Whose breast milk? Whose bloody breast milk? From the Mum's Milk Bank, UK. You can buy it in. Comes in frozen. I just buy, you know, they drop it off each morning. Right. Breast milk. It's perfectly safe. No, it's not perfectly safe. I thought the bloody cappuccino tasted totally off. You've been giving me breast milk. You do realise that's got viruses in, and even HIV and things. Don't be silly. It's pasteurised. How do you know it's pasteurised? Huh? Have you inquired? I mean, how long have I been drinking baby's milk then? This is a person I'm talking to who wanted his own wife, who's now sectioned in a nut house, to have her tits removed. You're now drinking baby's milk. I'm not part of the Scopsy anymore. I'm a Muslim, right? You're something, but I don't know what you are. And this huge beard of yours that you're now blow-drying morning, noon and night and oiling with something that smells like a dung heap. What is that stuff that you're putting on the damn thing? This facial fetish that you've got, curling tongues and God knows what, and 3 different shavers, 3 different clippers for that thing. You do realise that the stuff that you're putting on there sounds and smells, scents and smells flammable, you know, and doubtless, you know, at some stage, you're going to go up in flames with that Zippo lighter and roll up fags. You're going to immolise. You'll probably take me with you. You're sort of. I know what it is. You're moving to something else, aren't you? No. I'm going to stay. You know, my Buddhist beliefs over. Right. So, being a Buddhist, then I thought because your mother was a Buddhist, that was the only religion for you, wasn't it? That was the only way of life. I mean, self-sacrifice through fire is one of their traits, isn't it? That you were teaching me about when we were drunk and, you know. The problem is, you see, it's everyone around you that suffers. Your wife, me, and, you know, if you're going to burn to death with this facial fire hazard that you're now growing to your feet, you know, doubtless, you know, your fire-breathing religion will come into it. What you were supposed to be never moving away from being a tantric Buddhist, the breathing of fire, isn't it? No, it's not literally breathing fire. You know, it's fire within. You breathing. That's another thing. You also were a fire breather, weren't you, 2 years ago, outside the blues bar? You spent 2 weeks unwashed, blowing fire, like some medieval magician outside the blues. Whatever happened to that? You've been through that much. There are so many different sects that I don't know where I am. That was more a bit of fun. You know, ended up... well, didn't it end your singing career, your operatic singing career, as I remember? You were singing with Darcy, weren't you, for money and moving around different... Well, it was the Kapellmeister that ended my singing career. I mean, I ended up throwing him into... Darcy's father has a swimming pool, and I thought he was trying to. I thought it was him that was trying to, push me in at a pool party, a singing party, and I threw him in whilst he was conducting. What he was trying to do was move me out of the way so he could conduct the small quartet that was there. And I thought, I get it. So you turned round, threw him in the pond, and then they had to give him a kiss of life, and he obviously didn't want you back in the Musical Appreciation Society. Well, can you blame him? A big fool like you giving him the kiss of life, and he ended up with a broken collarbone, didn't he? Yeah. So what's happened to the Buddhist Tibetan monk living person that was, you were on Mount Everest for nearly 3 years, 4 years? As I remember, you were staying there until your death, and then you were going to be given a sky burial, weren't you? On Mount Everest, so you were going to be eaten by the eagles or vultures. Eagles, maybe the other eagle. I mean, what's happened to that? Well, I still want that. I still want to be given a sky burial so I can transmigrate my soul into the spirit of flight, you see. Right. Well, don't do it here. The last thing we need is any more flying rats, sky rats, crapping your decomposing corpse all over the bloody rooftops. Do you know you've got a miserable karma, a miserable karma. Is there any wonder? I mean, every time I go away on a business, hellish business meeting, I come back to find that you have found yet another divine entity to worship. You know what's going to happen, don't you? These divine entities, one of them will come and call for you and probably miss you and bloody hit me. You've got a bad karma.